think I have an exciting show for you today. And actually, I want to let you know that I'm on YouTube now. And if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. The more people I have, the better it looks for my channel. So, and there's other videos out there too. If you like them, say something about them. But please subscribe to my channel. Today, I'm here with a friend of mine, a new friend of mine. His name is Robert Leonard, and he is with the company called NCBAM. Robert.
NCBAM.
NCBAM.
All right.
It's so good to see you today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on my show, Vicki Talks. Why don't you tell us what NCBAM is?
NCBAM, the letters stand for North Carolina Baptist Aging Ministry. It's a ministry that was started by the Baptist State Convention of North Carolina in 2009 under the leadership of Dr. Michael C. Blackwell of the Baptist Children's Homes of North Carolina. And then Dr. Sandy Gregory became our director, and he is still our director 10 years later. The purpose and the vision of NCBAM is to keep aging adults 65 and above living at home safely and independently as long as they can.
Exactly. That's great, because I'm a baby boomer. You're a baby boomer. There are tons of, we're probably the biggest generation there's ever been.
We are. The statistics tell us now the baby boomers are turning 65 one every 10 seconds.
Wow.
And it is going to be soon the largest segment of our population in the United States.
And we are setting trends. You know, we're the ones that brought in the storage buildings, and we're the ones that brought in so many of the assisted living facilities. Think about how many there are now as compared to what it used to be, because the baby boomers are really changing history because we're so massive.
Huh.
But being able to stay in our homes, that's important, because everybody wants to be independent.
Absolutely.
And
I certainly do.
I actually work for a couple of agencies as a caregiver where I go and help them. That they physically can't do things, I will help them do that. And you have a lot of that to offer, but I want to hear everything that you do, because it's massive what you guys do.
We do things through helping people stay at home by doing things like a wheelchair ramp or supplying grab bars.
Yeah.
Being sure their smoke alarms is working. Minimal home repairs, be sure their handrails are okay, those types of things. And also we do things that will help them age well, not just at home, but age well spiritually. We have several brochures that we use. One is 30 Days of Strength, and one is 10 Passages of Promise, biblical truths for aging adults, and we try to give those to aging adults as they come to our information booths at health fairs, at certain senior adult centers and things like that. But we work through volunteers. The people have our number, they get our number from various places. They call the call center, which is located in Thomasville, North Carolina, and they can ask for assistance. The call center specialist takes the information and they begin to feed it back out to us that are regional directors. There are 6 regional directors in North Carolina. We are a statewide agency of the Baptist State Convention. And we began to work with volunteer groups from churches, civic clubs, individuals that are willing to reach out and to help meet these needs of the individuals.
So you could actually go to a church and teach their members, the youth or whatever, how they can minister to the aging in the community.
Absolutely. That's one of our goals, is to try to get into our churches and to encourage them to begin to work with the aging population, to help them know how to minister to them we have several programs that talk about how to minister. We have a program that we can come in and train volunteers. It's called Care Groups, that we can help them know how to minister to aging adults in their community as well as in their church. And it's a growing need all over North Carolina and the United States.
So if anybody watching needs something like this at your church, please call Robert at NCBAM and we'll give you all the information. It's really easy because the churches that I've been in, they don't really do enough to help our elderly.
Right.
They don't know what to do.
Right.
So we need your organization to come in and teach us how to do that, because biblically we're supposed to take care of one another.
Absolutely. And that's the purpose for which NCBAM was created, to go into the churches to help them understand the aging population and help them understand how to minister to the aging population. There are two ways that we do that. One is the statewide leadership conferences that we have, one statewide in the spring in May, and then in the fall we have regional statewide leadership conferences that we call AIM, Aging Adults Innovative Ministry. And that's for pastors, senior adult leaders, anyone that wants to come and learn new ways of how that we can work with aging adults in our churches.
Right.
So we're always glad to come. Any of the directors are glad to come to a mission meeting, to do a service in the church, to help with senior adult groups, to speak to senior adult groups in any way that we can.
Yeah, and also you go to different facilities, for instance, Caraway, which is in Asheboro. That's where I met you a year ago.
Right.
When your group came there and told us about NCBAM and what they do, gave us some takeaways. They talked about home safety, what to do in an emergency. You have a little kit that you keep emergency stuff in when the lights go out or whatever.
Right, and that's
the green one.
That's the grab and go bag.
Grab and go. I still have mine.
We use to teach disaster training preparedness for aging adults, and we're glad to come and do that for any aging adult group in our churches or in anywhere that they can get a group together.
Right, because we were up there for Senior Adult Week at Caraway, and that's where you came. That's where we met, and I met your wife and all the other people, and we had a little bit of fun too.
Right.
Yeah, and your director,
Sandy Gregory.
yes,
Dr.
he
Sandy
was
Gregory.
there.
Yes.
Yes, it was a great time. And then I think this year you told me you went to Caswell.
We go to Caswell.
The beach.
At Caswell, the Baptist Assembly at Caswell. We go in the May and we go in August, and we do a week-long senior adult retreat called Summer Fest. And that is a week that we do a lot of the programming, different aspects of programming. Some may be directed spiritually, others may be directed on doing some things that would again remind them of safety at home and things that they need to recognize. So that's always a great week to come and to share. We have times of worship, we have some free times, we have classes, and we have all kinds of things. So Summerfest is something that you can go to. Just look up North Carolina Baptist Assembly and you can find the information.
And I think I asked you one time too, if we had someone that needed help, do they have to be a Baptist? And I think you said no.
No, we help anyone. The only criteria we asked is 65 or above.
Right. Oh yeah.
That is the only criteria, and we do it. They don't have to be a Baptist. They don't have to be a church member. All they need to call, and then we go assess the need, and we try to find volunteers. And we've always been very successful. God always opens the door for the right person to meet the need.
Yeah. Didn't I hear y'all guys say at Caraway, you broke a record of how many ramps you built in one day?
In 2014, we had the first Ramping Up, which was in conjunction with the Baptist Men of North Carolina. And we had a challenge to build as many ramps as we could in one single Saturday. And so in 2014, we built 321 ramps statewide in one day.
Wow.
And every other year we have Ramping Up. It's coming up again next spring, and we would love to invite churches, civic groups, anyone to contact us if they would volunteer to build a ramp as part of Ramping Up. We've increased it to 2 Saturdays now. one in the last of April and one the first Saturday in May. Ramps are the greatest need that we have.
Yes.
And the most expensive need that we
Yes.
have that calls in. So we need everyone that can help us to volunteer to help build these ramps.
Yes, I agree. You can just drive down the road and see there's a house just got a ramp put up. It's just over and over because there's, like you said, there's so many of us that are aging to, and we're staying around longer
Right.
than we
Yeah.
used to, you know, so it's a great need. But Robert, tell us a little bit about who you are, and you've told us about NCBAM, but how did you get here?
For 36 years, I was an active pastor in a Baptist church, 3 Baptist churches. In 1970 to 73, I was at Hobgood Baptist Church while I was in seminary at Southeastern. And then 73 to 81, I was the pastor of Hepzibah Baptist Church, a good Old Testament name, in Princeton, North Carolina. And then in 1981, I moved to Concord as pastor of Southside Baptist Church in Concord and was pastor there for 25 years.
Wow.
At the end of that time in 2006, my wife Linda and I were both commissioned with the North American Mission Board as church and community missionaries. And we served in partnership with the Cabarrus Baptist Association and North Carolina, the North American Mission Board for 10 years. They began to phase that ministry out for various reasons. But I had already made a connection with NCBAM through helping with many of the projects as a local mission coordinator through Martha McDowell and Debbie Pilson and some of the other directors at that point. And then we were also on the advisory team. And so when my ministry with North American Mission Board phased out, there just happened to be an opening for a regional director with NCBAM, and God worked it out marvelously. In August of 2016, we started this ministry and absolutely love it.
And your wife does it with you?
She goes most of the places with me when I speak or when we have information tables set up, and we're just so thankful. Dr. Blackwell always says we got 2 for 1.
There you go,
So,
twofer.
A 2 for, that's right. So,
Well, that's a life.
absolutely.
That's a life of a minister
A minister's
anyway,
life,
isn't it?
it certainly is.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
really enjoy doing this ministry together.
That is a great story.
So, thank you.
It's a great ministry that you guys have. Is there anything else about NCBAM? I love to say that. That's the way you say it. NCBAM.
That's right. You
Yeah.
got to get the emphasis.
Got to get that bam in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, what we do in the very beginning of the organization and the vision was that we would set some priorities. And number 1 priority for aging adults is prevention. You know, preventing falls and preventing fires and preventing all of the other things that would throw them kind of in a tailspin health-wise and everything else, and almost make them leave their home. So we started a fire and fall prevention. We trained hundreds of volunteers through North Carolina how to install smoke alarms. We had a partnership with the State Fire Marshal's office that donated free smoke alarms, and now our smoke alarms are given to us by the North Carolina Baptist Foundation. And so we still have volunteers that are willing to do that. So if anyone needs a smoke alarm check, we're glad to do it. And if you need one, we're glad to install one or more for you.
And you're centered right here in Concord.
I live in Concord. I work in the South Central Regional Direction, which is 12 counties and 9 Baptist associations, starting in Davie County, coming down to Iredale, all the way out to Moore County, and the PD Association in Rockingham and Laurinburg. So I have a pretty good area to cover.
Yeah.
And we have different area directors, regional directors across North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, so that keeps you and Linda busy. She has
Pretty,
to help you.
pretty good busy, that's right. We stay on the road some weeks more than others, but we absolutely love meeting different people and groups and hearing the stories of people that we have helped, of how it has made a difference in their life, and it's just an awesome thing to go and to speak to a group and to share with them, and then begin to do the things that God has allowed us to do through volunteers.
Because I'd never heard of you until last year, so it's another one of those best kept secrets.
Absolutely. Everywhere, almost everywhere I speak, I'll ask how many know, and even in our Baptist churches that sponsor this, how many know, and there are very few hands that are raised. So we are one of the best kept secrets in Baptist life, but thousands of people in the 10 years that we've been in existence have been helped and continue to be helped through the ministry of Baptist Aging Ministry.
Yes, and hopefully our viewers will pass this information along, because when I heard about it, I'm like, wow, I would love to have you come and help us, because there's so many seniors. I know I had my tire light came on in my car, the idiot light. You're like, oh dear, got a low tire, what am I going to do? So I went to church one day on Sunday, and I said, Pastor, doesn't it say in the Bible you're supposed to help the widows and orphans? I said, I got a low tire. He said, oh, well, no, that's not exactly. It just says you visit them. I said, would you come visit my house and fix my tire?
Good idea, that's right.
But, that's what we're supposed to do, is help our elderly.
We do a lot of things like that, the physical things, but we also do a lot of friendly phone calls or friendly visits. My wife Linda and a friend of hers, Angela, here in Concord, visit a lady. Her name is Jackie, and when they first started visiting, she was 99. She turned 102 in July.
Whoa.
She said, I have outlived all of my friends.
Yeah.
I live with my son, who has his own life, and a grandson that comes in occasionally. I would like for someone to just come that I can have a good conversation.
Yeah.
So they love her.
Of companionship.
She grew up in Canada, still speaks that fluid French, and so they really enjoy her stories and just allowing her the freedom to just talk and to share and to visit with her.
That's right. The companionship. The clients that I have and go see, I have this one client that we may be, once I get some of the things she needs done, washing her clothes or unload the dishwasher, some of those little things that you take for granted.
Right.
That they just can't do anymore. We watched Pioneer Woman, we watched the cooking shows, we might watch a movie, but just companionship and talk and that's what they need, because like you said, they can't get out.
No, and one of the growing epidemics we're learning among aging adults is isolation and loneliness.
Yes.
And that's the next step that we're taking as NCBAM. We are starting a program called One Hope. And this is a spiritual response to isolation and loneliness. And we have started it as a pilot project already in Davidson County. And we have trained volunteers along with the staff of NCBAM to be willing to take phone calls and to talk if they call in and say, I'm lonely, I just need to have a conversation. And so that is the first step of the process. And so we've done that in Davidson County. I have trained some volunteers here in Cabarrus County. And so the next step is to get the information out to first responders, police, sheriff's office, fire, all of these, so that we can get the number out to people that may be lonely or isolated.
Yes.
And so as we do that, they will call in, and we're getting ready to really speed up the process so it can go statewide. And part of the process is not just to answer the phone, but the next step of our developing One Hope is to develop a ministry guideline for our churches, so that when a person in their community calls, that they will know how and they can minister to that person that is isolated and lonely.
Yeah. There's so many of us out there that can do that.
Right.
And just go and visit with them, whether it's volunteer. I make a little bit of money because, you know, if you didn't prepare for retirement, Social Security is not gonna.
Right.
Some of us have to work, and
Yeah.
that's a little bit of income, but it's so rewarding to help these people that have trouble walking.
Sure.
You know, I remember years ago, my doctor said, "Okay, now you need to start exercising those legs," and I thought, "What is she talking about? My legs are fine." But now I can see that that's the first thing to go.
Right.
Is the muscles in your legs, and that's when you get confined to that wheelchair, and you got to have that ramp.
Right.
And more it's happening.
So one of the things that we would challenge people to do, and in our churches to those that are looking, is to be on the lookout for training for the One Hope, or to allow us to come into your church and talk about this.
Yes.
Because all around our churches there are people that are isolated, there are people that are lonely. And our first responders, they talk about the frequent flyers, those that call in just to have a friendly voice.
Really?
I was talking to a young man that's a fireman in our church. I said, "Clay, are you familiar with frequent flyers?" And he said, "Absolutely." He said, "There are people that call in almost every week because they don't have anyone to talk to.
Aww.
And we just go and check out the need that they have. And the police and sheriffs do the same thing because they don't have anyone else." And so that's what we're trying to solve, that issue, or help respond to that issue, to help those people know that somebody really cares.
Yes.
Many people that are on Meals on Wheels, and we've heard this testimony more than once, the only person I speak to during the week is the person that brings my meal on Meals on Wheels. So that's one of the reasons we felt led to develop this ministry, and we're just thankful that we have it up and running, and we're trying step by step to get it all across North Carolina.
Yes.
Now they can call the number, the One Hope number is 1-866-578-HOPE, HOPE. And so they can call and talk to a voice, a friendly voice, from 9 a.m. and all the way to 9 p.m. is the times at this point. From 9 till 5, the call center in Thomasville answers a call. And then we have volunteers that the phone is switched to their phone from 5 to 9 each night. So, you know, God is going to use that in a marvelous way to encourage people.
And we can tell people too. Tell anybody, tell your friends,
Right.
share this video if you like it, let them know
Sure.
that there are associations, people out there that do care about them. So I'm just wondering, what's that red bag for, Robert?
The red bag is one of those prevention things that we talk about. And the red bag is a medicine kind of organizing bag where we encourage people to keep their medicine in one place. And also in this bag there's a listing here that you can list the medicines, how the doctor that prescribes it. And so we're getting these out a little bit at the time across North Carolina. And first responders, many of them are already asking, do you have a red bag? And so this will help them if there's an emergency. They can pick up their red bag and have all their medicine at one spot. To take them to the hospital, to their doctor, wherever they need to go.
Yeah, because that's the first thing they're going to do is want your medication.
So they want all the medicine, so instead of looking for a Food Line bag, you've got it in one spot. So this is available. This is the only cost item we have. It cost us $3. We charge $3. A lot of churches are using the red bag as an outreach ministry to aging adults. They will buy it in bulk, and they will visit and use it as an outreach and give them a red bag and explain what it's about. So just showing that you care means a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely a lot. So
that's awesome.
And one of the other things that we do is we encourage churches to get involved. we come into their church and do a lot of programs. We have a little pamphlet called Wise Up, and there are around 40 different programs that we love to come in and talk to the aging adults and to the church leadership about. And we've also developed some brochures on some things, short-term mission volunteers, short-term things that they can do during the year to help aging adults in their community. So.
Well, I've been promising you I want to have you come to my church, and I'm still going to do that.
All right.
As soon as the holidays are over and
right.
things settle down a little bit,
sure.
I am definitely going to have you at my church.
All right.
And I encourage anybody else, I mean, I'm sure your pastor would love to hear that. So let them know that Robert is available. If you're not in this location, we're all over North Carolina.
All over North Carolina.
That's NCBAM.
And you can call that 877-506-2226, and they will get you in touch with the right person that's in your area.
Well, that's awesome.
Another thing that we are doing, because there are so many aging adults have caregivers, full-time caregivers, 24/7. So we're doing things to reach out to caregivers also. We have some brochures that talk about their how they can we talk about prayer prompts for caregivers, 10 truths of transformation, biblical encouragement for caregivers, and then for the church we have some things listed in a little passport that supports family caregivers, and these are things of how the church can get involved in meeting the needs of caregivers that's in their community.
You know, Robert, it makes me think of a few years ago, the church that I was at, we went at Christmas time and we sang carols and did stuff at a nursing home. And as we were leaving, the pastor, whoever was in charge, said something to the staff, and he said, "You don't have to wait till Christmas.
Right.
We're here all year."
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's a boat we're missing.
Yeah.
Is the people that are in those homes. We need to teach our churches how to go and see them, because they're going through that isolation thing too.
Sure they are. Yeah, and that's one of the things we encourage when we come in and do caregiving, the care training, or those types of things, to do it consistently.
Yes.
Because, like I said, they need more than one visit a year.
Yes.
Our church, there's a group that goes once a month to the assisted living or nursing facility in Mount Pleasant, and they just gather and they sing the old hymns, and the people sing along, and they really enjoy that. So it's a good thing that 5 or 6 or 10 up to may go, but the people are always involved and they'll always enjoy that kind of outreach.
Yes, like you said earlier, they just need to know there's somebody that cares about
Absolutely.
them.
Certainly do.
And you can, and from what I understand, NCBAM can train us. You know, you don't think about things. You said something about fall a minute ago. We're trained when we go in a home to make sure that their pathway is clear
Right. Yeah.
of obstacles, because an elderly person, when I say elderly, I'm talking about older than me, that they,
I know,
and I'm not going to tell you how old I am,
Okay.
but to keep the obstacles out of their way, because it's so easy for them to trip, especially if they're on a walker.
Yeah.
They may not see that. It could be just a piece of paper on the carpet.
Sure.
You just make sure, there's so many things that we can be taught.
Right.
And that you guys can teach us.
We've got a brochure that talks about home safe home. It's a checklist.
Traffic areas free of clutter and throw rugs. That's why they call them throw.
Throw them away.
I know, but they'll throw you.
That's right. Throw them away.
That's right. Throw them away.
And so one of the fun things that we do when we go to a group and we use this is that we've kind of made up a true-false test, that we talk about these safety issues and ask them if it's true or false, the things that they do. And so this has been a good thing, just as a reminder. You know, we learned all of these things coming up.
Exactly.
But as we age, we have a tendency to just kind of forget those things. So it's always a good thing. And we also not just in a group, but we're available to come into an individual's home and just do the checklist for them if they have a need. So they can call our call center and request that. One of the other things that we're doing is talking about having peace of mind and thinking about strategies for home invasion. Because a lot of aging adults live at home.
Oh, and they are so
Thinking about
targeted.
those things that,
Yes.
that can help them prevent and protect themselves. And so
Right.
that's another thing that we can come and help a group do, or as a group or as individuals talk about this, that you can have peace of mind as you lay down to go to sleep at night. And so help to overcome this fear of being invaded at night.
Yes,
So-
and that's really serious. For the older we get, the
Right.
more afraid
Sure.
they are. Because they, some of my clients, they can't get out, they can't drive, they can't just get out and go. So they keep a lot of essentials, a lot more. I'm thinking, why do they have so many paper towels and toilet paper? Because they know that they can't get out, so they have to prepare.
Sure. That's right.
And those are things that caregivers need to know, why they,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in their mind, and to understand when you get older and you get to that dementia and Alzheimer's stage,
Right. Yeah.
what's going through their mind, and fear is huge.
It really is. It keeps them. It keeps them lonely. It keeps them isolated.
Isolated, yes.
And so
yes.
many of them grew up in that era where their pride would not let them say, "I'm gonna call my church because I need it," and they don't do that.
Oh yeah, the
They
baby
will- they
boomers
will
are
not even
notorious
mention
about
that.
that.
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
had several clients that say, "Well, I just don't want to bother my church,"
exactly.
but the church would love for them to bother them,
Yeah,
and so many times. But,
except when you got a low tire.
oh, okay.
But another
Okay.
thing that I have
So-
learned from being a caregiver, I have a couple of clients that are in the lift chair,
Yes.
and they can't even get up unless they lift it up.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, what if the power goes out?
Right.
They're stuck in that chair.
That's right. That's true.
And I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So
they,
she got
they
this
do
big
think about it.
UPS battery pack.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told her about it. She bought it from Amazon, and that way, if the power goes out, it will at least let her get out of her chair.
Great idea.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, you learn
I
these
hadn't
things
thought
by
about
being
that.
a caregiver.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, this has been so educational for me. I hope it has for our viewers. If you like what you've seen with NCBAM,
Give us a call.
give us
That's
a
right.
call and
So-
forward this YouTube presentation to your friends and family, and ask them to subscribe. Doesn't cost anything, just hit the little subscribe button, and the more people that see this, the more we can get the word out, Robert.
Absolutely, because that's our goal.
Yes.
We're 10 years old, and we've just scratched the surface of helping aging
Right.
adults.
Right.
And so that's our goal, to continue to reach out and to minister. And like Stan Heiser, who's our AIM director, he senior pastor at Pritchard Memorial in Charlotte, he says the more churches we get involved,
Yes.
the more ministry we can
Yes.
do.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
on here.
Thank you
We'll
so
have
much.
You again.
Thank you so much.
This is Vicki signing off for Vicki Talks.